𝗕𝗪𝗏 set new all-time highs last night. In this video, we're going to dive into the technical analysis of the 𝗕𝗪𝗏 protocol and see exactly what is likely to happen next here with 𝗕𝗪𝗏. Now, the entire crypto market at the point of recording this video is experiencing a bit of a pullback, and as a result, we can see the same thing happening for Harmony. But we're going to review the charts, the data here, and see exactly what we think is likely to happen this week with 𝗕𝗪𝗏. Guys, as we get into this video, if you do think this is a useful and informative video, then hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then do subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, with all that said, done out of the way, let's dive into this TA on Harmony and see exactly what's going on. We're going to start with the weekly chart, guys, because this gives us a nice big picture of where things are going and how things have been moving most recently, but also where they have been. Ultimately, things really kind of kick-started here back in March of 2020, where we were really down nice and low. This is a low point for Harmony of, I think, 0.0011. Okay, so basically 1/10 of a cent. Okay, really, really cheap. And obviously during this first wave to the upside, 𝗕𝗪𝗏 actually reached back in August of 2020 1.4 cent. Then there was a second wave, which was a correction wave. Again, this kind of wasn't too bad, kind of bottomed out nice and low again at about 0.5 cent. So again, about halfway through from where it was previously. So again, a pretty good correction, got us to a nice low oversold status on the stochastic. And then we started to see a nice rise to the upside with wave 3. This is pretty much where Bitcoin was going nuts, taking its all-time highs, and everything else is kind of rising with that tide. Overall, this actually reached a pretty decent level of 22 cents. So again, from our lows of March 2020 through to our highs of March 2021, 385 days, we have seen 18,905% in gains. So for those people who are claiming in the comment section that Harmony does nothing and that it just goes down in value or just trades sideways, really zoom out, pay attention to the weekly chart, look at where we started. There are 5 impulse waves to the upside. We're kick-starting this 5th wave now. So again, even if you bought at the high of 3, the expectation would be to rise to about 79 cent, which is about 320% from the current position that we currently are today. So again, things have been moving. It might not be as fast as you might think or want, but this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is a nice, steady, slow-ish environment. It is very volatile because it is cryptocurrency. And guys, it's important that you do your own research, right? Because I'm not a financial advisor. Chris is not a financial advisor. No one's going to be making investment decisions for you except for yourself. So make sure you do research in all of these projects that we talk about here on the channel, and be confident, right? I use TradingView. So you guys can replicate everything that I do here just by signing up at TradingView. You'll be able to use all these indicators, all of these things that I'm using, and you'll be able to replicate what I see inside this data. So make sure you make your own decisions, right? I'm not going to be able to make those decisions for you, nor is Chris, nor is anyone else on YouTube. You'll be hard pushed to find a financial advisor on YouTube. So just make sure you do your own research and make sure you're safe. Never overextend yourself, never use leverage, all that kind of rubbish stuff that we often talk about. But overall, things on Harmony have been increasing. They've been performing quite well. We did get the closed candle last night in a really key area, obviously new all-time high above the 786. That's a good big bullish signal moving further forward. So on this weekly chart, just really wanted to highlight that basically during our lows of wave 1 here, we were oversold. Wave 2 lows, oversold. Wave 4 lows, oversold. And again, overbought during our wave 1, overbought during our wave 3, and we've just entered the overbought area for wave 5. We can be up here for several months, so again, nothing to worry about just entering this area. So again, looking pretty much good for the end of the bull run towards the end of the year, where we start to go into a bear market from there. And again, accumulation begins, and we get into all those fantastic positions where we build huge portfolios waiting for the next bull run. So overall, everything's looking pretty good, and the structure is still intact. Nice close last night, and again, we're moving forward. So let's jump down into the here and now. Let's jump to that daily. Okay, and this is where we can take a look at what's been going on most recently with Harmony. Okay, so we can see that we got the closed candle last night, which was fantastic, just up here, setting new all-time highs. And then we can see that the market has pulled back, courtesy of Bitcoin. I think it's just dropped below 45K, and it's dragging the rest of the market down with it. Obviously, Cardano, a little bit of money has flowed out of there as well. And again, that was lined up outside of what we've seen with the smart contract launch there, so Alonso hard fork combinator event. With that going on, it seems a pretty good time to kind of sell the news events. So again, we are seeing a pullback, and I don't think it's Cardano's fault by any stretch of the imagination. Everything was lining up nicely. Bitcoin's had a pullback, and I think that's just affected the entire crypto space as a bit of a whole. So overall, we're watching that. Overall, we have come back down to our 786 area here on the daily. We can see that we've had a nice correction on our stochastic RSI, coming down quite a bit here, but again, ready to push back to the upside if we need to. We were oversold down here, for example, and this little push was back to overbought. So right now we are looking quite good, and a good push to the upside. We can obviously trade sideways maybe between these areas until things line up to go after that first target. But this week should be a pretty good week, considering that we have basically taken out that all-time high area, and that should be a pretty good signal considering we're above the 786 on the weekly. A weekly close candle up here should be good. So again, we just need to correct a few technicals, and we should be on the way back to the upside. Now, on this weekly, on this daily chart, I should say, we are targeting 33.3 cent. That's the first price target, the 1.618 Fibonacci area. That is now the next target. Okay, so obviously all-time high has been hit, and we want to come back up to this area here and push our way towards that area there. So again, that's the first target. Second target comes in at 51 cent, followed by 68, and then of course at the top there, we have the 79. But we do think there is a potential push for $1 for Harmony, and I think it's something that we could see, but I think it would just be a wicking scenario. It would wick up there and then come back down, and it would be over very quickly. I don't think we'll spend much time up there. Loads of sell orders probably placed up at that psychological barrier of $1. The 4.236 coming in at 79 cents is a pretty sensible area as well, so we're just mindful over what's going on there. So overall, the weekly chart, the daily charts are looking pretty good, and we like to couple all of this data with some artificial intelligence and machine learning. So we check the 𝗲𝗏 dashboard. So 𝗲𝗏.io, links in the description, check it out. And this basically uses artificial intelligence, machine learning to help us understand the underlying value of a cryptocurrency, i.e. it takes all that data and then basically analyzes it for you and gives you some ratings based on what it sees inside the data. So overall, we have an A2 rating, very, very good. Again, the second best rating that you can have for a cryptocurrency, so straight away we know it's doing well. The 7 days we've seen 51% in the green, so very, very good data there. The AMI-HAD ratio is indicating no problems with liquidity, an A2 rating. It's extremely greedy though. This is usually where profits are taken, so be mindful over that. There's a lot of greed out there at the moment, so again, profits will be taken from experienced traders, and again, they'll be buying up the fear at a later stage. So right now A1, so very, very greedy. We obviously have the Sharpe ratio A2, so risk reward ratio looking quite good here, well above the 50-day average, and no problems with risk reward ratio. Profitability, the best it can be with A1, moving averages A2. Overall, there's no problems with the underlying data, which is fantastic, so we can have confidence in what's going on here with Harmony. And obviously this updates every day, so we do check it out and we make sure that we're aware of everything that is going on with the Harmony One protocol, make sure that there are no potential issues with liquidity and fear, or if we start seeing a slippage on the Sharpe ratio, or even if the moving averages start to kind of divvy a little bit. So it's important that we do keep up to date with what this AI and ML is showing us. But right now, no problems to report with Harmony, which is fantastic. So let's jump down into our hourly view, and here we can take a look at what's been going on most recently. Frustratingly, we've actually lost our trend line, and I think this is pretty much courtesy of Bitcoin. This happened last time as well when we started to see this potential pullback. We lost our trend line as well. I think many altcoins in the space are also losing their trends, which is fine. It wasn't a strong trend anyway. It was a trend line showing an indication to the upside, and there was a triangular wedge here. So it's a bit frustrating that we lost that triangular wedge, but again, this pulled back to the downside, just finding support on this area, the 786. Again, is an area that we've seen previously anyway. So again, not too concerned. We are now oversold on the hourly, so we will be looking for a push to the upside if Bitcoin will of course allow. If not, then we'll have a small push and then a deeper pullback, which we want to avoid. So we want to see good momentum here, but like I said, there's nothing majorly wrong with the artificial intelligence. It's indicating pretty good things. We can see the volumes have actually decreased, so there's not a huge sentiment here for selling. There's a little bit of selling pressure just here, which obviously pulled us down a little bit, but overall the volumes are low whilst we're oversold. We want to do is see that volume grow as we grow to the upside with our candles and our stochastic. That will help us take back over those all-time high areas. Okay, 21 cent is going to be the area that we're looking to push back above, so getting above this area is going to be vital for us, so we'll be monitoring that situation in the same way that we saw over here, right? We pushed up to the 21 cent, we pulled back, and then we pushed up to all-time high. That's what we look for. We look to try to come up, push back, and then get hold of those other areas just at the top there. Overall, these smaller time movements are on the hourly. are less important. It's important that we really focus in on the bigger timeframes as they help us understand where things are going in the bigger picture. We can obviously see volatility a lot clearer on the smaller timeframes, but ultimately we don't want to act emotionally. I'm not a trader either, so I'm not looking at trying to find and time perfect entry and exit points. But I am, of course, going to be looking at dollar cost averaging better positions during dips like this, when we go down into the oversold area, for example, and basically build better positions and all that kind of good stuff ahead of where we're going. But even that is getting harder and harder the more expensive Harmony One becomes, and obviously the closer we get to the end of the bull run. So overall, for now, it's just about hodling tight, finding some good entries if we want to build positions. Otherwise, try not to act emotionally and continue growth to the upside. That's kind of my motto on things here. And if we're ever in doubt, we do zoom out. We pay attention to what is going on with our weekly. This is where we start to see some of those fantastic moves that have been going on. And we've been calling the all-time high. We did that a couple of days ago, I think, and things are definitely lining up, getting that area there and pushing up closer to our 320% now, to our peak of our bull run. So overall, no problems to really report. Everything's kind of going to plan. A little bit of a pullback today, which is unfortunate. Again, there's the things going on in the space outside of Harmony as well. So one to watch out for, but ultimately, as long as we hold our 786 and all of those kind of things, the short term's looking pretty good. But long term, we're still on track. There's nothing to really report for the actual end of the bull run. All that kind of stuff is still intact. And we aren't slipping into a bear market, for example, not as far as I'm aware. There's no indication of that either. So hopefully, guys, you have found this video on Harmony useful and informative. If you have, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you are new, then do subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With this said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.